Hello, guys. Guess what? I'm back, and I know you missed me. I miss you too. But KJ and William did an incredible job last week when I was away. They kept you entertained. But here I am. I'm back with our watch along, with our daily watch along for every single wrestling show out there. Today we are watching WWE Raw live with you, and as we can see, it's Drew McIntyre and Big E who have opened the show, and these two are supposed to be the focus of this episode of Raw tonight. So obviously, Big E wants to go after the title. He wants the title from Drew McIntyre wants Big E's WWE Championship. So Big E says it's never happening. He's never taking the title from him. And Drew McIntyre really, with his words, proving that he needs the championship, he wants the championship, and he will get the championship. He's really listing down all the opponents that Drew McIntyre has defeated so far to become champion. And those opponents include the likes of Brock Lesnar, they include Goldberg, they include all these big names. So Drew McIntyre thinks that he can definitely defeat Big E. And if you look at Drew McIntyre and Big E stand toe-to-toe right here, Drew McIntyre is really towering Big E. He's really taller than him. Okay, now here come out the Usos. The Usos are here. They're the SmackDown Tag Champions. I'm not sure what business they have over here, but they're here. Okay. And we have KJ. Welcome back. Thank you, KJ. Thank you. You guys did an incredible job last week. Thank you so much for keeping the fans entertained. And let's see if the show can keep us entertained tonight, though. Let's see. Right, my same question.
What we doing here? Well, we doing what we want when you rolling with the tribal chief, boost.
So we spoke about it during the draft and before the draft as well, when WWE was experimenting with superstars being traded between the two shows, and if it increased the ratings, they would do it more often. And now we're seeing it right now with the Usos. They're over here on Raw, even though they're SmackDown Tag Champions. We're gonna be seeing a lot of trade here and there. It looks like we're going to get ourselves a tag team championship match tonight. The Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Big E. That's what it looks like. Okay. So the Usos are here selling the match between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, while Drew McIntyre and Big E were talking about their own championship match. So interesting.
Drew, be careful, Oos, because you're going to end up in the crosshairs of the tribal chief on Friday nights. You understand?
Okay.
And he might add that WWE Championship to the trophy case, Oos. Yes, sir.
So the Usos really warning Big E and Drew McIntyre about what will happen if they go head-to-head and toe-to-toe against the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Yeah, so obviously, whoever wins in Saudi Arabia at Crown Jewel will face Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, because there's no way that Roman Reigns is dropping the title to Brock Lesnar, right? There's no way at all. And I hope not, because Roman Reigns has done such an incredible job. He does not deserve to drop the title right now. Just not now, no. Yeah, right. It makes no sense. But as I said, it looks like we're getting ourselves a tag team match here. We could be getting Usos versus McIntyre and Big E. That's what it looks like. just like I said, just like I said, this was quite predictable. Okay, so the Usos versus Big E and Drew McIntyre. Okay, and are you guys enjoying Big E's title reign so far? I mean, I love the stuff that he did for the boxing match. This past weekend, that was something great. Uh, it's been a good. It's been a very non-typical, but a very entertaining title reign so far, and we're like only a week or so into it. So I've got no complaints regarding Big E's title reign. It's been fun. He's been making some big moves. People are talking about him. Non-WWE fans are not talking about him, so that's good. That's good. So we're gonna be seeing before we see Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at Crown Jewel. Tonight we're gonna see the two actually team up in a tag team match against the Usos. And now we have cut to backstage in the gorilla positions where Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are being interviewed. Okay, so the interviewer was asking him basically. It was a good question. The question was about the King of the Ring tournament. And since both Kofi and Xavier are in that tournament, what happens if both of them have to face each other? Okay. Xavier Woods really wants the crown, and it's funny because the fans want Xavier Woods to get the crown as well. I don't know. I'm not big into Xavier. I've never been big into Xavier. I love the New Day. I was just talking about it like 2 weeks ago when I was here. That Xavier, I feel, is the most protected wrestler on the main roster in a long, long time. And I feel the same right now. And I don't know. I don't want Xavier to win the crown, honestly, but he seems like the most likely contender right now to win the crown and to become the new king of the ring. I think it'll be entertaining nonetheless, but I'm just not the biggest fan of it. Yep, though there was the Queen of the Ring tournament was disappointed on SmackDown. Well, if SmackDown was a trailer, I don't know what's yet to come in the full movie on Crown Jewel, in Saudi Arabia. So I hope that SmackDown was not any, glimpse of the main show. I hope it's gonna be better than that. Good to see everybody joining us today. Thank you so much for joining in. Crown Jewel. I'm seeing a hype promo here between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's match at Crown Jewel, and this is a match that people are very excited about. But I still feel like there is no way that Brock Lesnar is gonna be, winning the championship. I mean, Roman Reigns has done such an incredible job with the title. It would be it would make zero sense for him to lose at this point. Like, why should he lose at this point, even if it's Brock Lesnar he's facing? And let's also think about this: Brock Lesnar is no longer the invincible beast. He's no longer that because Roman Reigns himself, Drew McIntyre himself, actually defeated Brock Lesnar some time ago. So Brock Lesnar is not an invincible beast anymore. He's not even the beast anymore. He's more like a countryman, right? He's more like a Canadian, a loving, a very friendly Canadian. So he's got this new vibe around him. So he does not look as threatening. So for him to actually lose a match now would be actually very, very less surprising, at least to me. So let's see, but let's see what goes down at Crown Jewel. But for now, if I could actually give my early predictions for this match, I would say that it's going to be Roman Reigns. He's going to be defeating Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel. And speaking of the boxing match that took place this past weekend, I mean, we saw Big E, hyping the match, introducing both the challengers. We saw this grand entrance for Tyson Fury. It just goes on to show that wrestling, in particular, maybe WWE, has had this massive influence on the world of sports and entertainment. I mean, the entrance we had for Tyson Fury was something out of the WWE's own books. You don't really see all these theater in boxing or in MMA, but you did see it this past weekend for Tyson Fury's match, and it just goes on to show that WWE has this massive influence across the industry of sports as well as of entertainment. It's incredible what they do. What WWE talent you want to see beat Roman Reigns for the WWE for the championship? Good question. Get DUI, get free title match. That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like Reigns has done such an incredible job with the championship so far. I would hate for him to drop the title until we actually get. I know it's gonna sound very cliche, but I would hate for him to drop the title until we actually get the match against The Rock, because his championship reign has been nothing short of impressive and dominant. The only way for it to end, if it has to end, or the only way to really bring it to its ultimate peak, would be a match against The Rock. What a hype would it bring? Roman Reigns being champion for, let's say, a year or 2 years straight, and then going head to head, toe to toe against The Rock. That would be something big, right? So I would love for that to happen. And until then, I do not want Roman Reigns to actually drop the title. And Ricochet's out here. I mean, this is a guy that I know a lot of people love. I was live at WrestleMania 35, and I was enjoying my French fries, and I was enjoying my burger, and all of a sudden I heard this loud pop. And this was, I think it was a pre-show. I was early on in the show, and I was not really expecting the kind of a pop that I heard. So I kept my French fries aside. I got up from my seat. I looked towards the stage to see what's going on, and I could not see anybody, because Ricochet is not the tallest individual. But I saw, on the Tron, I saw Ricochet. And I thought, wow, people really love this guy's entrance, don't they? And that's all that Ricochet is all about in the WWE. And even now, 2 years later, I feel like Ricochet's entrance is it. Or maybe the little moves that he does, his high flying ability, which is impressive. No offense, but I feel like that is it. And there's nothing beyond that. At least right now, there's nothing beyond that. So it's sad. It's sad, definitely. But Ricochet, that's it. That's it. That's all about him. I really feel like it's gonna be. I mean, I'm pretty sure about it. It has to be Xavier Woods who will defeat Ricochet in this qualifying match, and I do expect Kofi Kingston to actually win his own qualifying match. And I do expect to see a match between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods taking place, because it's gonna be good for the ratings. The New Day's never broken up. The New Day's never actually fought each other, so this would be a fresh and I feel a welcoming change. There will be a lot of mutual respect in this match. That would be something that I'd actually look forward to. So I do expect a match between Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, and the fact that the backstage interviewer actually brought it up, it basically hints the match. It's pretty much out there that the match will actually take place. But The Rock versus Roman Reigns can main event WrestleMania without. True, that's true. They can very well. It's still the cousin versus cousin. It's still the bloodline. You've got all of that. You're right. I will not take that away from you. You still got the bloodline angle. You still got the family drama. You still got the emotions. You still got these two main eventers, right? Two superstars. One is a Hollywood star. One could very well be a soon-to-be Hollywood star. I mean, both got the looks, both got the movesets, everything about them, going on. But still, if they add the WWE Championship to the mix, let's say Roman Reigns champion for 2 straight years, defending the title against his biggest threat yet, his own cousin, The Rock, I feel like that just increases the whole, stakes a lot more. It just brings them a lot more higher. So I feel like it needs the championship match, because this is a main event material match and it needs a main event championship. That's just me. That's just how I feel. I feel like it would be really very special. I mean, if they could do that. we do remember the match between John Cena and The Rock, WrestleMania 28. That was without the championship. And then we had a championship match a year later where The Rock basically passed the torch, which was kind of useless because the John Cena actually, retired. Can I say retired or stepped away from the ring for good a few years later? So I don't know. The passing of the torch, maybe it happened a little too late because John Cena was already past his prime by WrestleMania 29. I feel. All right, so Ricochet and Xavier Woods trying to attempt a high flying move over here. High risk move from the top turnbuckle. It looks like a suplex. All right, and Xavier Woods gets the most out of it. He's hurt. His back hurts, and same with Ricochet. He's just as much hurt because both of them, when they drop down to the apron, both of them suffer the same damage. And now we are in commercial, and I'm getting a hype package between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. And just like that, my app crashes, and I'm left without a stream. Perfect. But good timing, considering we were in commercial, no problem whatsoever. I'm not the biggest Bianca fan either, so I don't mind missing out on a commercial. But we're going to be seeing a very exciting match at Crown Jewel. It's going to be Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. And, as we know, for women to wrestle in Saudi Arabia was a total no-no when WWE actually got there in the first place. I mean, women couldn't even appear in the trailers, in the promos, on the Tron during the show. They did appear, I believe it was Sasha Banks and a few other women of the WWE who appeared on the Tron for a little promo for an upcoming pay-per-view. And the Saudi Arabian royal family, I believe, they were very much offended, and WWE had to apologize for actually showing the women on the Tron. And here we are a few years later, we're getting an actual triple threat match, a championship match in Saudi Arabia between three incredible women. And that just goes on to show how WWE has been able to change the landscape of sports and entertainment in Saudi Arabia, which is incredible. And I was talking to an independent, he's currently working for SWE, and he's the fiance of Elevate Promotion in Louisiana. So he was, we were talking about Saudi Arabia, we were talking about WWE, and he's the biggest advocate I know of women's wrestling in countries like Saudi Arabia, in countries like Pakistan, where women's wrestling is not allowed or was not allowed. And I asked him, why does he really feel that it's important for women to wrestle in such countries? And he said that it's very important for them to wrestle in such countries because it's about the status of women, not just in the wrestling ring, but outside of it, in the real life world. People need to know that women can actually go head to head and toe to toe in real life in those countries, just like they can in the wrestling ring. And that's why it's so important for them to be able to wrestle in those countries. Beautiful. And I'm glad that it's happening in Saudi Arabia. This is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel. Bianca Belair, I don't really like her, but Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch are there. It's a triple threat match. I'm excited. Let's see what happens. But I do expect Becky Lynch to retain. I don't expect her to draw the title just yet. No. Alright, so I'm seeing the hype package between Lesnar and Roman Reigns for the fourth or fifth time this night. I don't really hate it. It's fine. It's a good video. It's a good package that they've put together. I'll take it. It's still better than the Extreme Rules commercial that we had to see every now and then leading up to the pay-per-view. So this one's okay. I don't mind it, actually. It's fine. And of course, we're going to be covering Crown Jewel live here on YouTube. We're going to be covering the show. We're going to be doing a watch-along for it. So make sure to tune in for our live coverage of watch-along of Crown Jewel. I need my caffeine. Yeah. All right, so we're back from the break, and Ricochet is dominating the match right now. This part of the match, Ricochet has the upper hand. Xavier Woods is down. He's in pain, and this can only mean one thing: the tables are going to turn around, and Xavier Woods is going to win the match. That's it. I don't see Ricochet winning it. It just would be plain stupid if Xavier Woods, does not reach the finals of this King of the Ring tournament. People wanted, fans wanted, and if Xavier actually loses the tournament early on, people are gonna lose interest, and WWE does not want that, do they? So yeah, definitely Xavier is gonna win this match. He's gonna go on to the finals, that's for sure. All right, so we just saw a glimpse of the crown, and it looks absolutely beautiful. That's a very beautiful crown. And just like I said, the tables have turned around, and Xavier Woods now has the upper hand. He just performed a dive from the middle rope onto the back of Xavier Woods, and now a dive to the neck. Still, Ricochet kicks out. This is not it. It's not enough for Xavier to put Ricochet out of this match right now. He has to do more than just this. Yeah, Ricochet is far from over. Yeah, just like I said, William, Xavier versus Kofi is inevitable. The interviewer, the backstage interviewer, basically spoiled the match for us when when he asked these two what happens if Xavier and Kofi meet each other in the ring during these qualifying rounds for the King of the Ring tournament. He basically spoiled it for us. So yeah, it's definitely happening. Uh, Xavier is winning this match. Kofi is winning his own match, and then we're gonna see Xavier versus Kofi Kingston in a King of the Ring qualifying match. And I'm gonna be interested. I think a lot of people are gonna want to see that match. We've never actually seen the New Day wrestle each other, so it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. It's gonna be something new. It's gonna be something entertaining. So definitely interesting. And just like that, a cup of caffeine is over, and now onto some water. Yeah. All right, so Xavier Woods rolls out of the ring. He's buying himself some time. We saw some hardcore action in the ring, some high flying moves, some kicks to the back. Xavier Woods really feeling its effect on his back. Wow, and what a dive from Ricochet. Ricochet is great. He has these magical powers to be able to pull off these high flying moves off the top turnbuckle, off the top rope, off the middle rope. He can do stuff that no other man can do in the ring. He's incredible. But he still needs that personality. He still needs that X factor. Because jumping around and performing high flying moves is not just all that wrestling is all about. You need more than that to be a star. And I feel that sadly for Ricochet, as talented as he is, the charisma stuff, the personality stuff is not really working out for him right now. So that's something that he needs to work on. Maybe the creative needs to work on, because right now I'm not behind Ricochet's personality or his charisma or his gimmick, if he has any at all. And that's it. Just like we predicted, William. Xavier Woods has won this match. He is advancing to the semifinals, where it would make zero sense if he does not wrestle Kofi Kingston. I mean, he has to wrestle Kofi Kingston in the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. It has to happen. All right, so Xavier Woods is now one step closer to the crown of the King of the Ring. We're also going to see Kofi Kingston wrestle Jinder Mahal in a qualifying round for the semifinals. If Kofi Kingston wins that match, he will wrestle his brother Xavier Woods in the semifinal round of the King of the Ring tournament. Let's see how that goes out. Let's see how that turns out. But right now, I want to take a break because I'm seeing RK Bro on my TV screen, and I'm not the biggest fan of RK Bro. I'm not a fan of Randy Orton's mustache, if I may. I'm not a fan of that at all. I don't know if anybody's digging his mustache, but I'm not. I feel like Randy Orton is better without any hair, let alone no hair plus facial hair. That just looks weird. So, not the biggest fan. He's doing this little thing with Matt Riddle, which is good, which is great. But it just makes me feel like Matt Riddle. I mean, you could compare him to the Godfather's gimmick or something like that. But the thing is that the Godfather's gimmick is ageless, right? I mean, you could be a Godfather, you could be a pimp at the age of 18, 20, 25, even 60, 70. You cannot be a bro at the age of, let's say, 40 or 50. I mean, if you do that, it's just going to look plain weird. And that's what I feel about Matt Riddle and his gimmick. I feel like I don't know if it's going to age well. I don't know if Matt Riddle is going to be able to pull off that gimmick 10 years later in this business. Right now he's fresh, he's young, he looks young. He's got a lot of personal problems going on, by the way. But still, in the ring, he looks young, he's fresh, he's able to pull off the whole bro gimmick. But 10 years later, when he's older, when we've seen him for a long time now, is he going to be able to pull off the very same gimmick that's of the bro, that's of the laid back guy, a very chill guy? Is he going to be able to do that? That's my question. That's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about the limited time that this gimmick has to itself. Because obviously, in my books, Matt Riddle's gonna be having a hard time being able to pull off the bro, the chilled man gimmick for, let's say, 5 years or maybe 10 years. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be the easiest thing in the world.
You should have said that. We'll see you out there later.
Yep. I feel bad because I love Randy Orton. He's great. He's fantastic. But I miss the Randy Orton from 2009. We saw a very vicious Viper. We saw a real threat. Every time I saw Randy Orton on my TV screen back in 2009, I got scared because I knew if the devil existed, the devil looked like Randy Orton. He looked evil. And now, when we look at Randy Orton, he looks like, I don't know, very. I don't know, guys. Because if I could talk about Randy Orton from, let's say, a year or two earlier, I would say that he's a guy who's super chill. He's still the Viper, but all he cares about is money. He's like Brock Lesnar. He'll work his days. He'll do his thing for the money, for the paycheck. He does not care. He's a chill guy. He's a cool guy. I respect him. Right now, when I see Randy Orton, I feel like he's a guy who's enjoying himself. He's definitely getting the paycheck. He's happy. But I feel like he's just too comfortable doing what he's doing. He's too laid back now. He does not have the hunger, the thirst to really achieve greater heights. And that's why I'm not interested or invested in this new Randy Orton anymore. Kind of makes me sad. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. All right, so getting some soccer commercials on my TV screen right now. So this show so far, if I could give it a very early rating, I mean we've seen a solid opener with Drew McIntyre, Big E, and the Usos. We saw a solid match here with the New Day. Sorry, with Xavier Woods and Ricochet. It's been an okay show. It's been an okay show so far. The main event is going to be a tag team match, between the Usos, and it's going to be Drew McIntyre and Big E. It's weird because they had to get help from SmackDown to actually be able to pull off a main event on Raw. So that's weird, and that gets a negative 1 point from me just for that, just because they could not utilize their Raw talent, and they had to get somebody over from SmackDown to be able to pull out the main event for Raw. So that's a negative one for me. And apart from that, it's a tag team match that's doing the main event. It's not that I'm against tag team matches, but not the biggest fan for main event, at least, because it's a very mediocre main event whenever we see a tag team match closing the show. So that's another negative one for me right there. The action we've seen so far, Xavier Woods Ricochet did an amazing job pulling that off. That was a great match, very entertaining, high flying, hardcore. It was great. It was everything that a wrestling match should be like. And plus one there for me. If I could predict everything in between, I would give this Raw a rating of 6.5. 6.5 out of 10 right now. Yeah, that's it. 6.5 out of 10. Or if I could do it out of 5, I'll do it at 2.75 out of 5. Because I feel like it's going to be a mediocre show. It's not going to be the greatest show, but there's going to be some good action here and there. We're also getting Austin Creed later on, who's going to be doing a match as well. So that's why 6.5 out of 10 or 2.75 out of 5, I believe. So that's got to be my early rating for this show. Just like I said, we've seen this. I've seen this commercial time and time again, but I'm still entertained. I'm getting a commercial yet again between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Oh, that's all right. It's okay. No complaints here. That's fine. Watching this commercial probably for the seventh time this night. Got no complaints there. It's all right. Oh, hello. All right, so WWE is promoting Mrs. Run with Dancing with the Stars right now. I mean, he's dancing there with the celebrities, really getting WWE's name out there, And we're seeing the draft, the result of the draft. We're getting some incredible talent over to Raw. We're getting people like John Morrison. We're getting Liv. We're getting Gable Stevenson, AJ Styles. We're getting all those people over to Raw, but not now. We're getting it in 2 weeks. So a week after Crown Jewel, it's a little weird, but it is what it is. And here we are with a random match between Hurt Business and Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. It's Shelton Benjamin and Alexander versus Mansoor and Mustafa Ali. So Cedric Alexander. Okay. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali in the beginning, flashes of greatness. Thought they could really be content. All right, so Mansoor is really getting the limelight. It's good. I like this because prior to this, all these years, we only saw Mansoor during WWE's events with Saudi Arabia. So we saw him for the Greatest Royal Rumble. We saw him, at Crown Jewels. We never actually saw him during the actual shows, throughout the year. We never saw him then. We only saw him at the Saudi Arabia shows. But now we're actually seeing him regularly on WWE programming, and he's going to be performing in front of the crowd in Saudi Arabia too. So I like this. He's a regular on TV. He's got to be celebrated in Saudi Arabia for the right reasons. So I'm a fan of this. It's good. Better than, a total nobody getting cheered on in Saudi Arabia for no reason, right? So we'll know at least who they're cheering on. So that's good. And here is where Jinder Mahal's experiment went wrong with Vince McMahon and WWE. They tried to push Jinder Mahal as the guy because they wanted to grow the market in India. Okay, now we're seeing Mustafa Ali and Mansoor actually. Wow. So Mustafa Ali showed Mansoor down to the apron, and Mustafa Ali looks angry because Mansoor could not save him from the pinfall. Mansoor looks heartbroken. His brother Mustafa has turned his back on him, it looks like. So, wow. Okay. Or we're seeing Shayna and the old side of Shayna has returned. We saw Shayna broke the, I believe, the hand of Nia Jax 3 weeks ago, followed by another, arm break of Eva Marie 2 weeks ago, and then last Monday we again saw Shayna trying to break another woman's hand, but she was saved by Doudrop. And of course, Dewdrop is now the new. I mean, she's better than Nia Jax, I would say. I feel like Dewdrop is safer in the ring. No offense, maybe. Dewdrop is definitely safer in the ring. She looks more like a threat. She looks like a more serious competitor. She looks like somebody who actually loves wrestling. I'm not saying that Nia Jax doesn't love wrestling, but I'm saying that Dewdrop, she looks like somebody who loves wrestling, and that's why I love seeing her. And fans love her. And I see big things for Doudrop in the future. Even though her name is just ridiculous, they could have come up with better names. Even names such as Sally or Sally Walker. I don't know. And even names like those would have been better, but they still named her Doudrop, which is very weird. But she's making the most out of it. All right. So for the 10th time this night, I'm seeing a crown jewel ad. Okay, and crown jewel is going to take place on October 21st. And this is the one single show of the year where American fans actually have to wake up early for the match, or they have to stay up late, whatever you're into, to watch a wrestling match live. And for the rest of the world, it's good news because they can actually watch the match at a time that is the most convenient for them. So it's good. It's good for a change. American fans get the taste of their own medicine, where we have to, the fans across the globe actually have to stay up late, or they have to wake up super early to watch the matches live. So yeah, so Crown Jewel is going to be taking place on Thursday, October 21st. Right. And if you're wondering why is it a Thursday, I believe in the Middle East, I'm not sure about Saturday, but I do know that Sunday is like, I believe it's a Monday, or Saturday is a Monday, but the weekend is different in the Middle East when you compare it to the rest of the world. Sunday is a working day. I think that Saturday too is a working day, and Thursday and Friday are the weekends, and that is why Crown Jewel is taking place on a Thursday, because that's basically like a weekend for Saudi Arabia. So that's the reason why they have their matches during their weekend and not American or the weekend for the rest of the world. All right. The commercial's way too long, and just like Kay just said last week, 2 weeks ago actually, when I was here too, he said that picture in picture is so much better in AEW. I mean, you can enjoy the commercials, and you can still enjoy the little matches that you see in the little screen. So it's definitely a more enjoyable feat. But WWE is still yet to adapt that. WWE is still running full on commercials, no picture in picture, and I don't expect them to do that either anytime soon, because they get a lot of money from the advertisers, from the sponsors, and sponsors definitely want the whole focus, the whole attention of the viewers on their promo, on their commercials, not on the wrestling when they're running the promo. So I feel like they wouldn't adapt to the picture-in-picture thing anytime soon. And I wouldn't be surprised if actually AEW shies away from picture-in-picture a few years later when they actually get some decent sponsors. So it's Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler, and can we just talk about Dana Brooke and how good she looks? She looks like she's in a great shape, in a much better shape, now than we saw her earlier on. She looks great. She looks happier, and she looks like she's ready to go. I don't know about her, what's going on with Dana Brooke right now, but she just has this very positive and energetic vibe around her. I mean, I'm watching her on TV right now, and there's definitely something different about Dana Brooke. This is not the same Dana Brooke that I'm used to seeing on my TV screen. She looks great. I don't know if it's just the attire that's working for her, but I just see the smile on her face. I see the way she's moving, how she looks. She's got a very positive vibe around her tonight. I love it. I love it. And definitely in a better shape too, I can tell. Okay, so Dana Brooke locking the arm of Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler has had enough, and now she's locking the leg of Dana Brooke in a leg lock. Alright, Dana is trying to roll up. She did roll up, and with a roll up pin, okay, Shayna dodges. Alright, that was a little messy, but still, we got a kick to the face of Dana Brooke, and just like that, it's a pinfall. That was a quick match, right? That was a pretty quick match. That was a few seconds long. And just like that, Shayna Baszler is advancing to the semifinals of the Queen's Crown, whatever you want to call it. And so Shayna is moving to the semifinals, and it's gonna be either Doudrop or Natalia who's gonna be facing Shayna Baszler before she makes her way to the finals. Interesting to think about it. I'm just trying to picture this whole scenario. Natalia versus Shayna Baszler or Doudrop. We've seen Natalia and Shayna Baszler actually before, multiple times. So I don't know why would this match happen again. We've seen it multiple times already. And they did tease something with Doudrop and Shayna Baszler last week. So I feel like they would capitalize on it. They would keep the story going, and we're gonna see Doudrop versus Shayna Baszler in the semifinals too. I do expect for it to happen, and I do expect Shayna Baszler to win the match. Actually, Charlotte Flair, by the way, she is royalty. Love her. And as you guys know, if you've been watching these watch-alongs and if you've been watching me for some time, I have a soft spot in my heart for every single wrestler I've interviewed so far. And Charlotte Flair being one of them, I've got a soft spot for her too. And when she says she's royalty, I do agree with her. And she's a true queen. No matter who wins the queen's crown, I feel like there can be no queen like Charlotte Flair because she is the one and only, right? Okay, so whoever wins that crown jewel between Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch is going to be facing Charlotte Flair Survivor Series in a champion versus champions match because Charlotte Flair obviously is Raw Women's Championship, Raw Women's Champion. She's definitely going to hold on to the title until Survivor Series. Whoever wins in Saudi Arabia, this is weird, by the way. All right, this is weird. We're seeing Bianca and Sasha versus Charlotte and Becky. It's as weird as it gets because I feel like the creative was asked to put the show together for tonight, and they were like, "Wait, we've got no idea. I don't know what to do. This is weird." And then they thought, you know what? Wait a minute. Let's just take all these competitors who are fighting, this in Crown Jewel. Let's take these competitors and put them together in tag team matches. Let's put Drew McIntyre and Big E together, and let's have them fight Usos for no reason whatsoever. And let's have Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks put together, and let's have Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch put together in a tag team match. It's weird. Like, why do you need tag team matches for all the people who are fighting a Crown Jewel? One was enough. One per week is enough. They could have had this tag team match for the women's next week too. But to have two similar tag team matches for both male and female counterparts on the same night actually shows some lazy creative. Not a lot of thought process going on to this show tonight, I can tell. And we're seeing the Bro match Riddle versus Omas, which is up next. It's gonna be here after a short commercial. And before this match, once again, I would like to point this out. We're gonna be seeing Drew McIntyre and Big E in a match, in a tag team match against the Usos tonight. And we're gonna be seeing Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair for some reason in a tag team match against Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Weird. Definitely weird. And let me just say this. These are SmackDown stars who are appearing on Raw for unexplained reasons. Uh, just no explanation whatsoever has been provided for their presence on Raw tonight. The draft will take place, will be in effect in 2 weeks. So what's the point in having these SmackDown stars on Raw tonight? Weird, definitely weird. But I feel like it's a for them, for WWE, it's all good, it's all alright because they own Raw, they own SmackDown, they can do whatever the heck they want, right? I mean, it's their house, they can do what they want, and that's what they're doing right now. They don't need to. They don't feel like they owe us any explanation, and that's fair enough, I guess. They're having fun with whatever they're doing, and yeah, it is what it is. All right, so we're on commercial right now, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and I just watched the hype package between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. That's going to be a match that's going to take place in Saudi Arabia in Crown Jewel, and the commentator just called that match one of the greatest matches that we'll ever see or we have seen so far in the WWE. And I don't understand this because we've seen, these two competitors go head to head numerous times now. I don't know how this match is going to be any different. I understand that Brock Lesnar has a new vibe around him. He's this new native Canadian vibe. He's a cool, fun-loving guy now. I understand that. But for the commentator to really call this match the greatest match that we've seen so far, I hope that they're able to pull it off because my expectations for this match so far are low, to say the least. They're low. Well, let's see. Let's see. I hope that I'm proven wrong, but right now, expectations are not the highest that they've ever been. All right, so we're seeing Riddle versus Omas. Omas used to be a bodyguard for AJ Styles. Now he's more like a partner. Now we're seeing AJ Styles actually accompany Omas to the ring. You wouldn't usually see a VIP accompany his bodyguard to a main event, right? To a special event. But we're seeing it right now. We're seeing AJ Styles accompany Omas. A little weird. It was unexplained how Omas went down from a bodyguard to, the star. Even his attire hasn't changed. He still has the whole bouncer bodyguard kind of attire. So weird, unexplained. But this is the WWE. I understand. All right. So Riddle is asking for Mike. He has something to say.
Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Whoa, man. Hey, before we get started, almost, there's a couple of things I wanted to say.
Riddle has something to get off his chest.
I've been doing a lot of thinking. I think all the time. I'm actually pretty good at it. You remember my sweet idea of Broger, right?
Why is Omas always so angry? I don't get it. Like, why can't you just calm down and listen to him for once?
You are looking swole. Way more swole than the skipper, dude. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, way more swole. Hey, what was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking. It happens to me all the time. Does that ever happen to you? You ever forget what you're talking about? No?
This is just weird.
Okay, Randy, now!
Alright, so Matt Riddle basically tried to do the talking, tried to distract Omas because he wanted Randy Orton to come up and RKO Omas out of nowhere. It certainly did not happen. Really cringe.
I hear voices in my head. Wait. Whoa.
I wish I could just skip this part of the show.
Hands off! Hey, ref! This is ridiculous!
Yeah, it is ridiculous, AJ. I agree. It is ridiculous.
He is stalling! Everybody sees it! Omar sees it! I see it! San Francisco sees it!
Oh yeah, we all see it.
Riddle is stalling! Hey, it's gonna happen! You're gonna have your head removed from your shoulders. Omos is gonna make sure that he's stalling. Rep, why don't you just go ahead and ring the bell and get this over with? Randy!
You know, I usually say that I'm not the biggest fan of Matt Riddle, but after watching this segment, can I call it a segment? Definitely can. So I don't know how can anybody be a fan of Matt Riddle. He's just annoying, plain annoying. I hope the match is over soon because I don't want to see Matt Riddle on my screen for way too long now. And it looks like Omos is gonna be able to squash a Matt Riddle like a bug right now in front of our eyes, and I'm all in for it. Alright. Omos going for the choke slam. Just pin him, Omas. Just finish it. Alright, good.
We're not done with him yet. No, we can legally beat the crap out of him as long as we want.
Alright, so AJ, Omos was about to pin Matt Riddle right there, but AJ asked him not to. AJ wants Omas to actually put the pain, really punish Matt Riddle right there in the ring for as long as he wants to, because the match is still on. He is, he can actually punish Matt Riddle and put him through a lot of pain for as long and for as much as he wants to, because the match is still underway. It's all legal. So AJ is really enjoying this. He's having a lot of fun with Omas kicking Matt Riddle's head out of his body. He's loving it.
Hold on, wait, he's not getting up, for God's sakes. Let's see it. In instant replay, but slow motion.
Yeah, KJ, it is awful.
Oh, shut up, we're gonna say it slow
KJ White says this is awful, and this is really awful. I don't know.
Yes, you sure do.
This show tonight has been all about tag teams, and weird tag teams, to say the least. Of course, I spoke about it earlier. We're seeing all the crown jewel competitors teaming up for some reason tonight. Here we're getting a very long segment. For tag teams, we're getting it between Omas and AJ, and we're going to be seeing Randy Orton appear as well shortly. Looks like, maybe not. But tonight's show is all about tag teams. That's it. That's about it.
Make no mistake about it, boss. But I am not.
All right, and AJ says that even though Omas is done with Matt Riddle, AJ himself is far from it. He's gonna punish Matt Riddle. He's gonna put him through some pain. All right, he's going for his finisher, and Randy Orton comes out finally. Just put an end to it, Randy. Just finish this segment. Just be over with it. It's not something that I really want to see. Not something that people would wake up for, very early in the morning. Alright, so Randy Orton's Tron is playing, his music is playing, Randy Orton is nowhere to be seen. Are we gonna get an RKO out of nowhere? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so Omas and AJ Styles are waiting for the arrival of Randy Orton. Randy's nowhere to be seen. Alright, so we heard the pop from the fans. Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere. We've seen it time and time again now. I don't know. I'm not entertained. I'm not. We've seen this time and time again. We've seen Randy Orton not come out to help Matt Riddle time and time again, and then show up for some weird reason after Matt Riddle's been put through pain, show up to help him. I don't know what kind of a help it is, but we've seen this thing time and time and time again. We just saw it again tonight. I'm not sure why we keep seeing it, but we keep seeing it anyways. And just like I said, tonight's Monday Night Raw is all about Tag Team Raw. We're getting a tag team match between Matt Riddle, Big E versus the Usos. We're getting a tag team match between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch versus Bianca and Sasha. We just saw a tag team segment. I'm not going to call that a match. Not going to call that a match in a million years. We just saw a segment between Omas, Styles, Matt Riddle, and Randy Orton. Tonight's Monday Night Raw is just a tag team edition of Raw. That's it. Weird. Weird. It just feels like they've got these matches, scheduled for Crown Jewel, and they just don't know what to do for the rest of the 2 weeks leading up to the pay-per-view because they're out of ideas. They just want to get to Crown Jewel somehow. That's it.
That was on you. Are your champion just talking for a minute? Yeah. Look, man. The two of us are gonna beat the brakes off each other in Crown Jewel. You know that, and I know that. But if we don't figure out this thing of ours tonight, bruh, it's gonna be a long one. The Usos were 7-time tag team champs for a reason. So I suggest, one night only, let's let bygones be bygones.
All right, so
Realistically, the Usos wouldn't be here without Roman's permission. Don't wipe their asses without his permission. So I guess the head of the table's a little bit scared of us, a little bit concerned, and he should be. Also, beating the Usos is a hell of a victory for us. It's true, that's true. And I did see those dimples of yours start to percolate a little bit when I talked about the nectar and the juices and the nipples to keep for you. Well,
again, I don't. We don't really see the WWE champion as somebody who does all his comedy, into a lot of comical segments and stuff. But we see it with the Big E, every single week. KJ said that Big E, for him to be taken seriously, he should get rid of this comical acts. He should be more serious. He should be more like a champion. Doesn't look like that's going to be happening. It looks like Big E's going to continue with his comical segments and whatnot. And I feel like even though I like my champion as somebody serious, somebody who's more professional, more champion-like, I don't mind Big E at all because he still brings in something new, something fresh that we haven't seen from a champion in a long time. So I guess that's fine. I guess that's okay. Speaking of champions, we're seeing former champion Bobby Lashley make his way to the ring in all dressed up in suit and tie and shades. Looking good, Bobby. Looking good. And obviously, he does not have MVP by his side tonight because MVP is undergoing surgery. He's out recovering from an injury. So that's the reason why MVP is not here tonight. And we're gonna be hearing from Bobby Lashley up next. I think we're gonna get a commercial. Are we gonna go to commercial? It looks like it. Yes, we are. We are. We just went to commercial, and we'll be right back, guys. We will be right back in just a few seconds. And I'm back, and we're still in commercial, but we're back watching the commercials. And this show so far, I give it an early on rating of 6.5 out of 10. I feel like I was being a little too generous. I'm not a fan of the show at all tonight. It's been awful. It shows that creative did not really put in a lot of efforts trying to build the show. And why should I give a very lousy creative 6.5? I'd give it a 4. Right now, the rating, it fluctuates with how the show goes, basically. My ratings fluctuate like that. So right now, I'm giving this show a rating of 4 out of 10. And for those who are watching this right now, let me know what you feel. Let me know what you think of the show. If you're enjoying tonight's Raw, because for me, I don't enjoy it. I'm actually having a hard time watching it because it's been far from entertaining. It's not the best show that I've seen in a long time. It's just weird. It's so far my rating for the show is 4 out of 10. That's all that I'm gonna say. But let me know, what do you guys think? Do you feel like, okay, so Teast is here and Teast says this Raw episode is awful. I agree. It's far from entertaining. It just, for me, it shows a very lousy creative. Very low efforts have been put into the show, from what I can see. It's been a very weird show, to say the least. Could have been better, but it's not. Yep, KJ agrees. It is a weird show. Tag teams matches. That's it. That's it. We just saw the commentator talk about baseball during a wrestling show. Okay, weird. This show's been weird, you know. You wouldn't expect a wrestling commentator to talk about baseball, you know, for no reason, but that's okay. That's okay. And we're getting a flashback from 2 months ago. Wow, it's been 2 months since SummerSlam. It feels like yesterday when we saw the return of Brock Lesnar and whatnot. It's been 2 months since SummerSlam, and a lot has happened in these 2 months. You know, Big E is now champion. You know, we've seen the WWE draft. It's been a good 2 months. But now at Crown Jewel, we're gonna see what is supposed to be a very promising match between Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. Let's see how it turns out, but it looks to be a very promising match.
Now, look, I know that you want a match against me, and I'm going to give you that match at Crown Jewel under one condition: that match is no holds barred. Bobby, no holds barred gives me a license to kill. I got crazy, and I am. You want an apology? I'll give you an apology. I'll apologize to your kids after I leave your lifeless body in the middle of the ring gasping for air.
You know, when we were heading into SummerSlam,
One thing for certain,
Bobby Lashley promised to us that he was going to end Goldberg's career at SummerSlam. And at Crown Jewel, Goldberg's promising that he's going to end Lashley's life at Crown Jewel. I find all of these claims to be very cringe because we know that, you know, it's just over exaggerated. But I guess it gets some part of the fans hyped up. It gets them excited for the match. I guess that's the reason why they make such claims. But it's weird. I find it weird. It's a PG show after all, you know. All right, we're getting some heart-to-heart words from Bobby Lashley
a
now.
lot of people ask me why I decided to challenge Goldberg to a no holds barred match.
All right,
But before I answer that question, did you see him stand in the middle of this ring and talk about ending my life? I mean, Goldberg said verbatim, I'm not only next,
Cage has got lots to say in breakdown. You know, breakdown is gonna happen right after this show, this live stream. Cage is gonna go live. He's gonna be talking about this show. He's gonna be breaking down. He's gonna be reviewing tonight's Raw, and he's got a lot to say about breakdown. For me, KJ, I'm actually falling short of words right now because this show has been really surprising me. Um, let's see if Bobby Lashley's segment here impresses me, but so far it's been a terrible show.
where you at? Do you have somebody standing in front of you dressed like $1 million every week who has defended this WWE Championship the entire year? Or do you have this man that came in here with cut off sleeves on, frothing at the mouth, screaming about murder?
And you know, Bobby Lashley here is talking about Goldberg's claims of ending Lashley's life at Crown Jewel. Is something that I found to be a bit uncomfortable, considering this is a PG show, and you know, over exaggerated claims, obviously. And I find it weird. I don't know why they chose these specific words, but I find it weird, and I can see that Bobby Lashley feels the same way. Yeah.
Into a fight with a man that is screaming, frothing at the mouth, acting crazy like some kind of rabid
Screaming, frothing at the mouth, acting crazy. We've heard these three words used for Goldberg just like a few seconds ago, and we are hearing Lashley using these three words again for Goldberg, kind of repetitive promo right here. It's been a weird show, you know. The promo here that he's cutting, it feels like he's forgetting his lines. I don't know what's the deal. He's kind of slow. He's repeating his own words here and there. So yeah, it there's something off about this promo. I can tell you that. From what I can see right now, there's definitely something off. Okay, now he's in control. Yeah, you know, this promo, there is something off about it. Yep. There will be no misunderstandings than the pause, a long pause. No one misunderstandings because you cannot beat the Almighty. There is something off about this promo. I don't know if it's Bobby that's he's who's forgetting his lines or what, but there was something very off about it. It was repetitive. He was using the same words over and over again. He was taking long, awkward pauses. Took off his sunglasses for some reason. Didn't work. Didn't really, you know, make the impact that should have. You know, I don't know. This promo was weird. That promo was not worthy of a commercial. I can tell you that. Basically, we sat through a 2 or 3 minute commercial to watch that promo. Not worth it. Not worth it. Again, these are SmackDown stars who are appearing in Raw. Sasha Banks, who's going to be fighting for the SmackDown Championship, is here on Raw in a tag team match. I mean, if they're bringing in SmackDown stars to Raw, you know, what do they have planned for SmackDown? I'm pretty sure it's going to be a spontaneous show as well, just like this one is. Such a weird show. Such a weird show, to say the least. And here is Jeff Hardy, and this is the only show of the night, I guess, that I am excited about. You know, Jeff Hardy versus Austin Creed should be a good match. Austin Theory, I'm sorry. And it's up next. And it's going to be after another commercial. An awful show. Just like I said, awful show. Not the biggest fan of it. Not the biggest fan. Alright, it looks like we go to commercial in 3, 2, 1, 0. Yep, and we're switching to commercial right now. We'll be back after this very short break. Okay, and we're seeing a commercial for Chucky. Yeah, this commercial is actually not too bad. It's fine. Is there a new Chucky movie coming out? Because that's what it looks like. I can say that maybe this commercial is the best thing that we've seen all night long. What is this? This is the new series that's coming out for Chucky. Yeah, it's a new series on Chucky that premieres, I believe, on 12th, on October 12th. Okay, all right, I'll take it. That was a good commercial. The best commercial, or can I just call it a segment? The best part of this whole show tonight has been that commercial. It's been a commercial, I'll tell you that. I've been more entertained by the Chucky commercial than I have been throughout the show. Weird, definitely weird. And with just that, I will go off on my own commercial on a little break right now because I've had enough of this show. It's been the weirdest show that we've seen in a long time, and I need a break after this. So I'll be right back in just a few seconds. All right, so Jeff Hardy looks very disinterested in this match. He looks bored. He looks sleepy, and that's all the stuff that I'm experiencing right now. Jeff Hardy is going on after Austin, trying to finish him early on this match. Austin struggling to gain control. All right, he's able to counter now with the elbow to the temple of Jeff Hardy. Austin goes to the corner. Jeff Hardy is able to counter with the dive to Austin Theory. Austin Theory is shaken up right now. Jeff Hardy with the twist of fate. Austin with the suplex counter. Jeff Hardy with the suplex counter. Austin looking for a okay, and with the kick to Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is now down. Austin with the cover. Kick out at two. All right, then Austin with an arm lock. Little submission hold right there. And we're having the 24/7 monkeys here interfere in this match. The show is awful. The show is awful. Austin Theory is totally losing this one. Yep. Yep, he's totally losing this match. Okay. Alright. He's able to counter. Okay. A little dirty work there. He got Jeff Hardy's pants. With a roll-up pin, Austin Theory wins this match. He needed the win, honestly. So I'm glad he did pick it up. But with this whole 24/7 monkeys going on, interfering this match, getting in the ring, no business whatsoever. Weird. Weird, to say the least. Gosh. It's been such an awful show. Such an awful show. I can't say this enough. It's been an awful show. And how many times tonight have we seen hype packages for Becky Lynch, Bianca, and Sasha Banks? I think we've seen it at least 10 times. I've seen it at least 10 times so far in this match. And it's been such an awful show, really. The show has been about promos, about commercials, about replays, recaps, and tag team actions. That's all about it. Remember, we saw an awful SmackDown, I believe, 4 weeks ago now. It's been 3 or 4 weeks since we saw that SmackDown. That was dreadful. It was painful to watch that show. I feel like tonight's Raw is just the same. It's painful. We saw a backstage interview or a backstage segment with Sasha Banks just moments ago, and now we saw a 5 minutes hype package for their match at Crown Jewel for the SmackDown Championship. And now we're seeing a backstage segment featuring Bianca Belair as well, all on the same show. Very less wrestling, a lot of bullshit. Not a fan of it. And let me just point this out, guys. This is Monday Night Raw. We're watching the red brand show. We're not watching the blue brand. We're not watching NXT. This is not a Super Raw. This is Raw. This is Monday Night Raw as we know it. The draft takes place, in effect, 2 weeks from now. But here we are. We're getting the SmackDown Women's Championship match hyped throughout the night. We're getting SmackDown superstars run their mouth backstage throughout the night. What is the reason for them to do it on Raw when they have SmackDown, which takes place this Friday? Why are they on Raw? No explanations whatsoever. Such a stupid, stupid show. Such a stupid format. Stupid is what it makes me angry. And now we have this very stereotypical tag team faction between Jinder Mahal, Veer, and Shanky. Just because they're Indians, you put them together and you expect the tag team to work. Stupid is my word of the night. Stupid is what the show is. Stupid is what the creative is. And that's why these tag teams never work and they never will. Veer and Shanky are very different personalities. They've got some very different background. Just because they both are brown, Shanky doesn't even have a beard. But just because if they are, brown, muscular guys, they're Indians, you put them together because, you know, you feel like they look similar. They do not look similar and they do not have similar backgrounds. To put them together, you needed a story, for God's sake. You were too lazy to give us an actual story, and you just paired them up because they're fucking Indians. Stupid show, to say the least. Stupid show. Yeah. And this is me after 1 hour and 26 minutes, about halfway through the show, and really my patience has been broken because this show has been god awful. You know, when you do these watch-alongs at odd times and you get such a show, it is not entertaining. It's just frustrating, and that's what I'm seeing right now. Yeah, I can definitely say with full confidence that tonight the commercials are more entertaining than the show. I'm actually watching the commercials and really giving them a shot and entertaining me than the show itself. I don't trust tonight's show to entertain me at all. I trust the commercials to do that instead. I'm not even a soccer fan, but I'm still watching this commercial, and I still find it more entertaining than the show. Yeah, since WWE is going to Saudi Arabia, I feel like Jeff Hardy will either, you know, go to Saudi Arabia with the title. He's gonna win the title on the plane, or he's gonna win the title in Saudi Arabia. But I can definitely see Jeff Hardy as a 24/7 champion in Saudi Arabia. Not sure how it will happen, but early prediction: Jeff Hardy will be wearing the 24/7 title around his waist in the land of Saudi Arabia, in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's for sure. Wow. The commercials are pretty long, I must say. Lots of commercials tried. Alright, and a high package between Sasha, Becky, and Belair once again. How many times are we gonna see this tonight? There's a limit that, you can put a human through. This is too repetitive. You've seen this commercial. I've seen this commercial at least 10 times tonight. I've seen hype packages for it twice tonight. I've seen backstage segments for this specific match twice tonight. Weird. As weird as it gets. And now we're getting a qualifying match between Kofi Kingston and Jinder Mahal, which is going to be a qualifying match for the semifinals of the King of the Ring tournament. If Kofi Kingston wins, it's going to be very interesting because he's going to be facing Xavier Woods in the semifinal round of the King of the Ring tournament. If Jinder Mahal wins, we're going to get a meaningless match between Jinder Mahal and Xavier Woods, which Xavier Woods is definitely going to win. So why would Jinder Mahal win this match? He's not going to win this match. There's no way he's winning it. It's got to be Kofi Kingston who will win this match, and he will go on to face his partner in crime, Xavier Woods, in the semifinal round of the King of the Ring tournament. Alright, and Kofi Kingston is actually being accompanied to the ring by Xavier Woods. And commentator here, just says that Kofi Kingston is doing the right thing. He's not concerned about the next round. He's concerned about Jinder Mahal. Basically spoiling the match for us right now, Basically really proving this that, hey, you know, he's winning this match. He's going to the next round. It's a good job on the commentator side, spoiling the match as he should, right? As he should. Definitely should. So Jinder Mahal and Shanky have actually been separated from Veer, and these two are headed to SmackDown. Veer is gonna be on his own on Raw. I'm happy that this is happening, but I feel like Veer needed his old Paul from NXT. I'm not sure if WWE's actually forgiven him and they're gonna give him a shot at the main roster. But I'd love for him to come back and pair up with Veer because these two, they could work together. They could really look like a threat and really, shake the roster up, the tag team talents up. But let's see what happens. Veer on his own, I don't know. I don't know. But Veer with a tag team with that guy from NXT, that would work. Let's see what happens. But Jinder Mahal and Shanky on SmackDown is a good idea. Jinder Mahal is actually having a hard time being in control of this match. Both of them former world champions of the WWE. Uh, One very much celebrated, one very much despised, and the one who was despised is actually feeling its effects right now. He's having a hard time keeping up with this match, with the action. He looks slow when you compare him to Kofi Kingston. He looks weaker. He's down and out right now. Kofi Kingston is winning this one for sure. And WWE has switched to commercials, and so will we. We will. D-Star is here, and D-Star says, "Bring back the Great Khali." Uh, yeah. Great Khali was entertaining. Definitely miss him. Miss seeing him on screen, but I feel like Khali's time is over. He's enjoying his time in Punjab, India right now. He's doing his own thing, running his CWE school promotion, whatever you want to call it. I don't think he's gonna come back anytime soon. Maybe a special appearance here and there, but not anytime soon now. Yeah. And WWE is on commercial right now, and so will we. It's been a god awful show. It's been hard to watch, hard to keep up with, and that's why we need the break. And we'll be right back after this very short commercial. Thank you so much. Eric, I agree. The show has been terrible. I mean, there have been a very the moments that we've seen tonight. They are far from entertaining. It's weird. The tone of the show tonight is just odd. I agree with you. Yep, terrible is the word for tonight. I find the commercials for the show, more entertaining than the show itself. For me, usually, I hate the commercials. I don't want them. But now, when they're going to commercials, I'm like, yeah, all right, good. I don't have to watch this crap anymore. I can actually take a break because the show has been so terrible. At least for me, I don't know how the fans are reacting to it on Twitter. I feel like Twitter is not the best place to actually look for genuine reviews because people, they're driven by their own personal bias towards the show about the WWE and the AEW. All right, I think D-Star says, I think I might drop Raw for good after this. I know, D-Star, I know. I don't know. The weirdest part, guys, it's a Red Brand show. It's Raw. But we're getting, the SmackDown Championship matches hyped up during the show. We're getting SmackDown stars appearing on the show in backstage segments, in tag team matches. We're getting hype packages for SmackDown matches on Raw. I don't know if they don't have enough talent on Raw to actually look after that they have to accommodate SmackDown stuff into the show. Weird, weird for sure. Stick with AEW and SmackDown. I agree. I can't blame you. I think it'll be worth a shot after the draft. Let's see if that changes anything, if that makes the show better. But right now, what we're seeing tonight, I hate the show. I hate it. I'm not at all a fan of tonight's show. Such a bad show. So bad. So bad. They must turn woods on Kofi, and that's not a bad thing. I agree. Breath of fresh air, definitely. Wouldn't mind that at all. Wouldn't mind that at all. But I don't think that it's gonna happen tonight. Tonight's show, the creative behind tonight's show has been just zero effort from the creative team. Bad show. I don't think that they would have thought about this. What you just said, Eric. I don't think that they would have thought it out at all. So I don't think that they would have come up with this idea, even remotely. So we're definitely not seeing any heel turns or any sudden moves tonight because I'm pretty sure they did not even think it over. So Kofi Kingston is definitely picking up the win, and that's about it. That's about it. KJ says, I don't know if I can keep watching. I was just thinking, KJ, I thought that I should just stop this watch along and walk out of this show right now because it's so awful. I'm not even interested. I'm not even remotely interested in the main event because, again, it's a meaningless main event. We're taking nothing from it. Nothing at all. Okay, I understand that whoever wins between Drew McIntyre and Big E at Crown Jewel, and just like I said, Eric, I said it. It was supposed to be a very wow. Wait. Okay, look at that. Would you look at that? Jinder Mahal actually won this match. So there was one match that I was excited about, and that was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I thought that WWE would do something new, something fresh for once. Actually, have them turn on each other, next week. Actually, have them wrestle for the first time in years. We're not getting it. We're not getting it. Jinder Mahal defeated Kofi Kingston, and we're not even gonna see Xavier Woods versus Kofi Kingston next week. The weirdest thing ever. What a missed opportunity right there. This is stupid. You could have had this amazing, match between Xavier and Kofi, which would have had people talking, which would have the ratings go up. You still missed on it. You still missed on the opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised if Jinder Mahal actually wins the this King of the Ring thing. At this point, the crown looks good on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it. So KJ says, I don't know if I can keep watching. I can totally relate, KJ. I want to stop too. Trust me. Will Drew win the title from Big E, then lose it to Roman, and he holds both the titles? Hmm. Could happen. I wouldn't be mad. But that would be just too much momentum for Roman. Like, he would have to drop one of the titles at some point, which would put a full stop to his, momentum, his fire hot run as champion. So I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be holding both the titles. Let's see what happens. So I think D Star was right. Ginger won. You're right. Just like I said, it's a Raw show. We're watching a Red Brand show, and here we have Becky Lynch hyping her SmackDown Women's Championship match once again. This is the third backstage segment we got for this stupid match tonight. SmackDown Star, by the way. SmackDown Star. We're seeing SmackDown Star Sasha Banks make her way to the Raw ring for unexplained reasons. The draft does not take place, in effect, 2 weeks from now. But still, we have Sasha Banks making her way to the Red Ring, which is going to be followed by another SmackDown star, Bianca Belair, which is going to be followed by another SmackDown star and SmackDown Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, which is going to have one Raw star, Charlotte Flair. Why are we having this match on Raw? I don't get it. This is a SmackDown dominated match. If you really wanted to do this match so bad with Charlotte Flair, you could have done it on SmackDown instead and have Charlotte Flair be in that match, Such a weird match. Such a weird show. I've got no words. We switched to commercial, and thank God that we did. Looks like this is a promo for WWE Shop. That looks like it. it says, all right, WWE is doing its live tours this holiday, you know, across America, it seems. And yeah, that's about it. WWE live tickets available now for this holiday season. So if you are into WWE and if you enjoy their shows, and if you want to spend this holiday with the WWE, go get your tickets. Go get them. Can they do the IC title some respect and get Edge versus Rollins? Wow, that's genius right there, Eric. That's genius. And you know the IC title would look so good around the waist of Edge or Seth Rollins. Wow, and actually add a lot of prestige and respect to its name. That would be great. That would be great. But do you expect them to actually give the IC title even a bit of respect? I don't. I don't. Even though it would be great, I don't see it happening though. I don't think that we've seen a greater IC champion. I'm sorry, Miss, but I feel like even though the Miss's run as the IC champion has been gold, has been great. He's been so dedicated to the IC championship. I still feel like we have not seen a more dedicated Intercontinental Champion since Cody Rhodes in the WWE. I mean, Cody Rhodes as the Intercontinental Champion, I really took it seriously because Cody took it seriously, because Cody gave it all. Cody really gave that title and importance, really made it feel like something. And ever since he dropped the belt, ever since, he's gone, I feel like the IC Championship is just lost in the shuffle. Could it be because AEW? Could it be because of the Rhodes legacy that is attached to the Intercontinental Championship? I don't know. But right now, if WWE is treating the IC Championship worse than somebody would treat their adopted children. It's just weird. It's just weird. Very, very weird. I know, D Star. I know. It's such a bad timing. If I was watching this Raw and if I wanted to go to the shows, I would cancel it. I would cancel my plans. I would spend my holiday season, doing something else. Maybe just staying home and watching something else and not WWE because the show has been awful. Wouldn't want to be there in person, enjoy it. I understand. I get it. I get it that when you're live in the audience, you want to pop, you want to cheer. You see a wrestler making their entrance, you see the lights, you see the pyros, you pop. I understand. I'm just not that kind of a guy. For me, it's like no matter I'm in the ring, I'm in the arena, or I'm sitting at home watching. I need action. I need to be entertained to actually pop. I don't usually pop for entrances unless it's somebody like The Undertaker making their entrance. I don't pop like that. But, if I'm live in the audience or at home and I see an awful show like this, I will just sit down and I will enjoy my french fries, and that's what I would do. I would not care about what's going on in the ring. And I can tell you that because I've seen this myself, and I was surprised that I could be so cold-hearted. All right. So John Cena headlines All-Star cast competing for Kim Kardashian Best Heart. Wow. Okay. So Kim Kardashian, if you guys weren't aware, she did a little thing with WWE back during WrestleMania 24. WrestleMania 24 had all these stars. They had Floyd Mayweather. They had Kim Kardashian in some capacity. So if you did not know about it, I'd suggest you look up Kim Kardashian WrestleMania 24. I'm pretty sure you'd be surprised. Not sure if you'd be pleasantly surprised, but you'd be surprised to say the least. We're seeing the EST, Bianca Belair, make her entrance. Once again, a SmackDown star making her entrance on Raw. Unexplained reasons. The draft is very much real. The brand split is very much real. These are SmackDown stars making their way to the ring on Raw, having a tag team match with three SmackDown stars, one Raw star on a Raw show for some reason I don't even know. And can Bianca Belair stop whipping her hair like that? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Such a god awful entrance. Don't do the spanky thing. Oh, she did it. She totally did it. I understand. I understand WWE. Becky Lynch is fighting Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks at Crown Jewel for The SmackDown Women's Championship, I understand that. Can we just move on and stop talking about it every single minute of the night? I understand. I get it. I get it. Fine. Thank God Charlotte Flair is here, adding some value to this match, basically. Thank God for Charlotte Flair. There she is. One star in this match that I can actually take seriously, not just because she's the queen, but also because she's a Raw superstar and she's competing on a Raw show. She's not a SmackDown star who's appeared on Raw for no reason whatsoever. She's the Raw Women's Champion and she deserves to be here. Those SmackDown stars don't, and especially not when they don't even provide an explanation for it. So I hope that WWE really gets some very bad ratings for the show because they need to wake up. This is such a bad show. Such a bad show. I shouldn't be watching this right now. I should be actually boycotting the show. Should be switching out of it. So, I can actually drop the ratings. But here I am still watching it. I don't know. I'm doing a watch along, so I'm watching it. But if you guys are watching it right now, if you want your voices to be heard, just tune out of the show. It's such a bad show. I hate it especially when WWE does stuff. WWE goes against its own rules with no explanations provided. Just because they feel like, hey, we don't need to give any explanations to the fans. We are the WWE. I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, it's been an hour and 51 minutes since we've been doing this, about 2 hours now. We've still got one more hour, and you have no idea how much I want to end this thing. I want to switch off this television right in front of me because this show is so bad. And if it wasn't just for the show, we get these very cringy AR effects during the entrances. SmackDown Women's Championship is being raised up on a Raw show. We're not getting ready for Survivor Series just yet. We are getting ready for Crown Jewel. Why do we have all these shows happening tonight? It makes no sense to me, guys. It makes no sense to me. None. Zero. All right, so we're getting ready for this match. It's gonna be Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Gosh, D-Star says this match guaranteed to end with all women fighting. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's probably gonna end up in a brawl. We can see that Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair are not on the same page to start with. Wow. You thought that this would end in that way. It feels like it's gonna start with the brawl right here. That's what's happening. It's gonna start with the damn brawl. So the Queen Charlotte Flair is the only one who's showing some class over here, and all the other girls really, it's a cat fight that's going on, and Charlotte Flair joins in the cat fight. These are I don't know. I don't know if you're an astrologer or what. I don't know if you can tell the future. But you just mentioned the brawl, and the brawl it is. It did not end that way. It starts that way, and I hope that it just ends this way because I would like for this match to end right here. I do not want to see this match taking place. I just want this segment to end. Hopefully, this start is Charlotte Shayna versus Lynch program. So that would be nice. That would be great. That would be actually really good because the man versus the Man Eater. Can I call Shayna the Man Eater? Yeah, I'd call her that. So that would be nice. Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch. Sounds like a good idea to me. You're right, D-Star. They're too predictable. But I'm happy. If this segment ends right here, and if we do not get an actual match, I'm happy. For the first time, I do not want this match. Just be over with. Just be done with it. Just go out of the ring. Just finish it. We're gonna see his frog splash here. Amazing. You know, it's sad that WWE has this amazing talent, such great talent. They're ready to put their bodies on the line every single night, and still they're not able to use them to the full potential. Still, they have such a lousy creative team that's running the show. Such a bad, terribly bad show. And I'll just say it once again. These are all SmackDown stars. All of them, except for Charlotte Flair. All SmackDown stars are. Oh my gosh, she's whipping her hair again. I can't. Can't. Can you imagine you're in the middle of a damn brawl, you're fighting these vicious women, and all of a sudden you just grab your hair and you start doing a dance with it? Cringe. Cringe. Very, very cringy. Very cringy. And Sonya Deville comes out with her guy. Wow. I thought this match was getting over with, but Sonya Deville wants this match to take place anyways. Can referee just ring the bell right now? Oh, he didn't. Okay. We've gone to commercial. The match is gonna take place anyways. Started with the brawl. Um, we don't know why the SmackDown stars are on Raw. No explanations provided. These people were started off with the brawl. The match is going to be very predictable, I believe. There's going to be a lot of useless tags. You know, there are going to be missed tags. It's going to be a weird match, but still, we're going to have it as a filler. It is a shit show. It is a shit show. Yeah, KJ. You know, I was gone last week, and I wish that this was the show that took place last week because tonight's show is bad, and I'm back tonight. And I thought that we'd start the show, we start the watch along once again with me, with this fire, with this energy. But the show has been bad, has been terrible. Gosh, did this squash Riddle to bring Randy to heel status soon, and maybe beat Big E soon, and we have another Orton run? What's the point of squashing Riddle at this point? I don't know, Eric. Can't really answer that. I feel like they're taking Riddle as somebody who could be squashed and still does not it does nothing to harm his status because they're not really building Riddle as a star. In my books, this is just my opinion, but I feel like they're not really building Riddle as a star. They're building him in a very a way. They're building him kind of like Santino Marella, like if he gets a loss, it still doesn't harm his status because he's supposed to be this chilled, layout, cool guy. Even if he loses, he loses. It does nothing to harm him at all. They're taking him casually. It's a very casual approach. For Orton to have another title run, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think that he's gonna have another title run with a main roster championship. At least for once, I don't think that Orton deserves another run with a main roster championship because of how uh, less entertaining. Can I say less entertaining that he's not been entertaining at all. Orton has failed to entertain me. He's been failed to get me hyped, and not a fan of RK Bro. And I could sound like a total hater right now. I could sound like somebody who keeps complaining all the time, but I'm not a fan of RK Bro. And I mentioned this early on during this watch along. I said that the one thing that really concerns me about Matt Riddle and his gimmick is is the limited time that this gimmick has. I mean, let's imagine this. Let's picture this. All right. Let's compare Godfather and Matt Riddle. So Godfather, his gimmick worked because he was this chilled, laid out guy who was basically a pimp in his 20s and his 30s, and you could be a pimp in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you could still be cool, right? But for Matt Riddle, he acts like a teenager right now. Even though he looks like a teenager, he looks young. But let's talk about 5 years, 10 years from now. He's not going to be driving around his scooty and wearing the snapback hat and talking like a kid. It's going to look awfully bad. So I feel like his gimmick has a certain limit to it when it comes to its time and its age. I think this gimmick could go really, get old very quickly, and he'd have to switch. And this gimmick basically defines Matt Riddle, which worries me. I feel like 5, 10 years from now, he'll have to reinvent himself, and it's gonna be weird if he continues to pull up this gimmick even then. So it worries me. Matt Riddle's future worries me for sure. Eric says, I agree, he is not entertaining. I'm just hopeful that WWE doesn't go back to Orton. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. It's not even a safe move right now because Orton, I feel like, even though he's a legend killer, the Viper, whatever you want to call him, uh, he's just been bad. Just been bad. And the mustache and the little beard that he has bothers me a lot. So I hope that whenever he gets the championship, he gets rid of the facial hair because I feel like he looks better without the facial hair. I really miss the 2009 Randy Orton. I said this early on in the watch along. As a kid, when I used to watch the 2009 Randy Orton, I used to get scared because if I could picture Devil, I pictured Randy Orton. That's how scary he looked without the hair, with that look on his face. He looked vicious. But right now he looks like an old man from across the street. So Orton's current look, not a fan of it. Orton's current attitude, not a fan of it. Orton as champion right now, I would not be behind this idea at all. All right, so for some reason, these four women were just brawling against each other. It was a total cat fight. For some reason, they're now on the same page. They took the orders from the authority. Can you call them the authority? I don't know. I'll just call them Sonya Deville and the guy. They took the orders from them, and now they're working good as a team. Okay, all right. The fact that Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks are dominating this match right now basically makes me feel like Becky Lynch is gonna retain the title at Crown Jewel. Eric agrees with me again. Eric, great wrestling minds that think alike. So thank you. Agreed on Orton's look. I'm sure Orton is going along with all this. Yeah, yeah. But Orton, I don't know. But Edge, Edge, right? Edge loves his comedy. He loves his corny jokes, dad jokes. Edge loves all of that stuff. He's a legend in true sense, but he still loves having fun. He still loves making jokes and whatnot. I see Orton doing the same thing. He's achieved a legend status, and right now he's reached a point where he just doesn't care. He'll do just anything that they throw his way because it's all about the paycheck right now. So he knows that he doesn't have a lot to accomplish anymore. So he can basically do whatever he wants. So Alright, so Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks are now fighting each other yet again. Charlotte Flair is out of the picture. It's gonna be a brawl between Bianca, Becky, and Sasha, it looks like. Wait. The match just got over. So because Bianca attacked Sasha, the referee stopped the match, but that's not a disqualification, is it? Like a partner can attack their own partners, and that does not lead to a disqualification. We've seen before, it never leads to a disqualification, but it did now. What is the reason again? No reason provided. It just led to a disqualification and the match is over. Weird. Is that girl, Sonya Deville and her guy, are they not gonna come out now and maintain order? Are they not gonna do it? Like, why not? Like, what was the point of doing it for the first time if you're not gonna do it again? If you're so particular about your matches and maintaining order, just come out again and do it yet again, right? But you're not gonna do it because you wanted it to go after one commercial break. You got that done, and that was your whole motive. And now you don't care because the commercial's over, and you ate about 10-20 minutes with this awful match and the awful segment. Wow. That's why I cannot take Sonya Deville seriously anymore. Again, Becky Lynch is racing up the SmackDown Women's Championship on a Raw show, on a Red Brand show. SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, we're seeing on TV right now, we're seeing a recap of the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the Raw show, on a Red Brand show, not the Blue Brand show, on the Red Brand show. Why? We don't know. But it's happening. On under what situation, under what clause, we don't know. But it's happening. Weird. Really weird. Such a bad show.
Not exactly on the same page as the Usos to take advantage and attack. McIntyre and Big E both falling victim to super kicks from the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The Usos
We've seen this recap twice now tonight. And this thing happened just during this very show. It was the opening segment of the show, and we have seen its recap twice already. These are not a few seconds recap. These recaps are at least 120 seconds. They are at least 2 minutes long, and then followed by the recap, we're also getting a backstage segment.
yes, sir. We saw it.
So really eating up all the time here. Such a bad show. Such a bad show. You're right, Eric. You're right. They just go against their own rules and provide no explanations for it. And we're getting Dewdrop. Did you miss Dewdrop? Did you want to see Dewdrop tonight? You probably did, right? And that's why we're getting Dewdrop. At least she's got to bring something new to the table, so I'm not mad. So it's Dewdrop versus Natalia in a qualifying match for the semifinals of the Queen's Crown tournament. Whoever wins this one goes on to the semifinals and wrestles Shayna Baszler. I see Dewdrop winning this one. And that's because we've seen Natalia and Shayna Baszler time and time again, a lot of times. If WWE wants to do something new, something different, they should let Dewdrop win. But again, it's a WWE, so I don't know.
Moments of community, moments of hope.
This month, give a moment of joy, family,
Health, support,
friendship.
love.
I'm a fan of the WWE. I'm a fan of what they've done throughout the years. I love that the work that they've done with Corner's Cure. I like the work they're doing with Susan G. Komen. I appreciate it. But this is also the same company that knows a lot of stuff and they do nothing about it until it really gets to the public eye. I'm speaking of Ric Flair. I'm speaking of all these incidents that WWE knows about, but they just stay silent about it. So if you really are the company that you claim to be, just so ideal, just so perfect, so giving, so much about community, why would you tolerate all of these things until the people start talking about them? So this is one thing I do not like about WWE.
Women's T20 becomes grander.
But I guess it's with every company out there, right? Like it's with every company. They want to be perfect, but they're not.
Whether women's big Lashley starts looking popular blood. Watch UEFA Champions League match day 3. Man United versus Atlanta. Wednesday 20th October 9 p.m. onwards. Live on Sony Digital.
Just like I said, the commercials tonight are more entertaining than the actual show. And that speaks volumes of tonight's WWE Raw. And since the commercial's on, I'm gonna take a little bit break for myself. I'll be right back with you once Raw is back on the air after the commercials. Stay tuned. All right, and we're back. We're seeing WWE congratulate itself, give themselves a pat on the back, congratulate Stephanie McMahon for winning an award this past weekend. We're also seeing some draft picks for Raw that are going to be taking place and going to go in effect in 2 weeks. We're going to see the likes of Edge, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, all these stars come over to Raw. They basically took place. There's basically went into effect tonight because we're seeing a lot of SmackDown stars in the show tonight. But anyways, they said 2 weeks, so let's just say 2 weeks. And Eric here is asking for thoughts on the Karrion Cross versus Priest for the U.S. title program. Uh, I feel like Karrion Cross, as weird as his run here has been on the main roster, if he's inserted into any title picture at this point, I'll be happy because he deserves something, right? He deserves some kind of spotlight. He deserves some kind of like, wow, okay, I need to watch this match because he's competing for the title. He deserves some attention. So if he's getting some attention through the program, I'm all in for it. It's fine. It's fine. Keith says the U.S. title isn't going to suit Cross, in my opinion. I understand where you're coming from. Karrion Cross is that hardcore kind of guy. I understand what you're trying to say. But just like I said, if he's gonna get some recognition from the fans who are not aware of Karrion Cross through the U.S. title program, let's just support it. I mean, it's the best thing that WWE has done to him ever since his debut on the main roster. I mean, he did an interview recently where he spoke about his mask, and he said it was actually an idea from the creative team because they wanted to expand on his looks on NXT because for one single night during his time in NXT he wore a vest, he wore something for his upper body, something similar to what he's wearing now. He wore it for one single night in NXT, which he probably regrets. He wore it for his match against Finn Balor. And that is what the creative wanted to expand on. That's why they added the mask along with the vest because merchandise, because they want to sell merch, and apparently they wanted to expand on the whole, stuff that he did in NXT, which makes no sense to me, but apparently it does to the creative team. Karrion Cross said that he just went ahead with whatever was told and whatever was suggested, and that is why he's currently wearing masks. So, all right, and I'll be just right back, guys. Just 1 second. All right, now I'm back, and it could salvage his credibility on his first go around. I agree, Eric. You're here with the right statements. You're making the right claims. I can definitely agree. And D Star says Natalia looks very plastic. I thought I was the only one when they showed her render for this match. When they showed this graphic for her match against Doudrop, I thought that wow, that looks like a creative for a WWE 2K video game. But yeah, Natalia is, by the way, one of the very early supporters of Wrestling News, one of the very early followers of Wrestling News on Instagram as well. A very genuine lady. If you DM her, I don't know, you should try it. If you DM her happy birthday, Merry Christmas, she's definitely gonna reply to you. She basically replies to every single fan. Very genuine star who cares about her fans. And that's what I love about Natalia. That's why it's very hard for me to say anything negative about her. But yeah, she does look plasticky tonight. Definitely has that going on. However, this match I feel like is the best match that we've seen tonight. Um, not taking anything away from Xavier, but this match is definitely has more action than we've seen all night, and also a bit unpredictable. But I still predict Dewdrop to win. Is she gonna win? Yeah, she did. She did. I said that Dewdrop should have won. I wanted her to win because we've never seen Shayna Baszler versus Dewdrop. We've seen Natalia versus Dew. We've never seen Shayna versus Dew. We saw, a little thing between Shayna and Dewdrop last week, and they're gonna be building on that to next week's match with Shayna and Doudrop. Something new, something fresh, something that I can welcome. Congratulations, Doudrop. You deserve the limelight. You deserve the spotlight. More power to you. I can't wait to see the semifinals of this match now, as we're going to be seeing Zelina Vega and Carmella on SmackDown, and Doudrop and Shayna Baszler on Raw. Zelina Vega and Carmella. Who would go on to the main the finals of this tournament, Selena or Carmella? Let me think. It has to be Zelina, I feel. Zelina versus Shayna. That's what I feel. Alright, John Morrison is here meditating.
Isn't it obvious? I'm tapping into my chi so I can share my innermost thoughts with the rest of the world. There is a lot going on.
You know, I love Rhea Ripley. I said it earlier. I have a soft spot for every single star that I've ever interviewed. I've interviewed Rhea Ripley. It was a great interview. And I have a soft spot for her. And for her to be turned into a cartoon character like this, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. I feel like she's made for better things, but it's alright. It's okay. She never really got pushed much. Yeah. That's true. Natalia never did. That's true. Are we finally getting the main event? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's have our main event. Let's finish this show. Let's put an end to it. Let's do it. Come on. Give this match to us next. Let's finish it. Oh, it's not even up next. Okay. We're going to get another segment or something before this match. God. Awful. Commercial break, right? Commercial break, obviously. Yeah, I did see it. Big E doing the intros. I mean, he should do it, for a living. He should do it, even after retiring from wrestling. He could do these intros for these boxing matches. I mean, so powerful, so great. It really got me hyped up for the match. Did you also see the entrance for Tyson Fury? It really made me feel like, wow, WWE has had this huge impression across the industry of not just entertainment but also sports. I mean, the entrance that they had for Tyson Fury for his match really was something, a page from WWE's own book. So it really shows the impact that WWE has had across the industry of sports and entertainment. It really is a proud moment for us wrestling fans whenever, we see something like that. So it's good. And of course, this Friday we're seeing a super-sized SmackDown, which is going to be colliding with Rampage for its first 30 minutes. Tony Khan has taken this thing personally. He's angry about it, and he's made his anger felt. He took to Twitter recently, and he said that, hey, I see what you're doing, WWE. You are going to be running head-to-head, with AEW Rampage, but guess what? AEW Rampage is going to defeat SmackDown in its ratings this week. That's what Tony Khan has claimed will happen. I don't think that it's going to happen, though. I don't think that we're going to be seeing Tony Khan, AEW Rampage, actually defeat SmackDown this week. And what is going on with YouTube's rating here? There seems to be some kind of a glitch. We don't see viewers. But yeah. I know. All of that is from WWE. This is the sort of stuff that WWE fans and WWE in general is actually criticized for. People, critique WWE for doing all this cringy stuff, all this showboarding. But then we see UFC and boxing and all these different companies take it from WWE and add it to their own programming. It's all from WWE's book. These entrances, these promos, this trash talking. It's all from WWE. You're right. And by the way, it's not wrestling related, but I'm very excited on finally getting my hands on the PS5. And I've already purchased my first game for the console. And that is Spider-Man Miles Morales with the what is it? It's called the Marvel Spider-Man, the remastered edition. That's the Spider-Man that came out in 2018 for PS4. They remastered it for the PS5. And supposed to be a really good game. Had been planning to play it, so I'm getting it finally sometime this week. I'm very excited for it. So if you guys want to see me stream some of the PS5 action, want to hear my commentary for it, let me know, and we'll make it happen. If you want me to do these, do little streams here and there for these video games, would love for that to happen as well. Let me know if you'd like for that to happen, and we'll make it happen for you. Unfortunately, there isn't a wrestling video game for the PS5 on the market, but once there is one, we're going to be covering the game as well. PS, we got a new Chinese in the UK. They're saying after Christmas, maybe there'll be. Yeah, it's crazy out here as well. It just went on sale for like this past week, I believe. This past week, 2 weeks ago, went on sale. They had a restock, and it sold out in less than a minute. Less than a minute. I don't know how I got so lucky and got my hands on one of them. It's been shipped now, and I'm probably getting it sometime this week. So very excited. Let's see if if it actually delivers. I've seen it hyped a lot. Let's see if they're actually able to deliver. I mean, I've always been a PS guy. PS2, PS3. I then switched over to Xbox One because I loved Connect, and I loved that the whole idea that they were pushing with Xbox not just being a gaming console, but a console for the household. I like that idea, and that's why I got a Xbox One. Kind of regretted my decision there because PS4 had better exclusives. Xbox did have Titanfall, but that was about it. Did not have God of War, did not have Spider-Man, and that's why I'm back home. I'm back home with PS, and I'm back home with PS5. Yeah. So excited about it. I can't even get hold of the new Xbox. Okay. Yeah, could definitely be it. It was pretty easy for us to get the Xbox Series S, I believe that's what they call it here. It was quite easy for us to get that. I think it's still easy for us to get that now. But for the Xbox Series X, the main one, the black one, that's hard to get. But not as hard as the PS5. PS5 is really hard to get. Are we gonna see Mustafa Ali versus Mansoor in Saudi Arabia? I'd love to see that happen. Actually, I think this would be a kind of a match that the Saudi Arabian fans would be interested in too. Pakistan versus Saudi Arabia. I get the appeal. I get the appeal. You know, they have some history. I believe these countries have some history. Uh, I'm not sure how it is politically, but I get the appeal. I understand if the match is happening. Why will it happen in Saudi Arabia? Yes, look at that. Mustafa Ali just attacked Mansoor, and I like it. I like seeing this because I understand where this is going. They want to build this Pakistan versus Saudi Arabia thing for Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel, where Mansoor will come out victorious and defeat Pakistan. I get it. Good idea. Good idea. This is something that the Saudi Arabian fans are gonna love. So, good idea. Definitely. T says, yes, I'd love to watch you play these PS5 games and do commentary for them. Alright, thanks. Thanks, Tease. We'll definitely think about it and we'll let you guys know, keep you updated. Hopefully we get a wrestling game out there for the PS5 so we can actually do it. But for games like Spider-Man, it's gonna be a little tough. But let's see. Alright. It is main event time. We're getting some entrances. We're getting the entrance from Drew McIntyre. I wish I could just skip the entrances like we do in WWE 2K video games and just head right into the match because I want this show to get over with right now. But still, we're gonna get entrances. We're getting Drew McIntyre. Probably gonna go to commercial between the entrances. Then gonna come back. Then two more entrances. We're gonna go to commercial again and then come back. I expect at least three more commercials during the show, the rest of the show. I know, D-Star. A lot of fans actually want Drew McIntyre to get rid of the sword. The sword was actually gifted to Drew, not gifted, but it was actually it was Vince McMahon who lent him the sword. Vince McMahon got the sword from Ireland, I believe, when he was on tour in Ireland. and he purchased this ancient sword worth thousands of dollars, and he gifted it to Drew McIntyre because he wanted him to look like this, Scottish king. And a little random, but yeah, he never uses a sword, so it has less of an appeal for me at least. Does he need the sword though? I don't know. It's funny because his Tron, Big E's Tron right there, it has this whole comic layout, and there it says 2021 July. I mean, they could have just updated it to October. Yeah, I mean, a little lazy on the part there. Like, it's kind of dated. July 2021, they could have updated it to October for sure, but they did not. It shows that the creative team is not the only team in the WWE that's lazy. It's also the graphics team, right? Good. That's good. That's, all right. Wow. So we've seen two entrances. We're seeing the third entrance right now, and we haven't switched to commercials just yet. That's impressive. All right, and now the SmackDown Tag Team Champions are making their way to the Raw ring. Dare I say, the Red Brand ring. For some reason, unexplained reason, we don't know why the SmackDown stars are even here, but here they are, and they're making their entrance. Weird AR effect. Not sure why it is there, but it is there. We did not have these AR effects, all these virtual reality stuff back in the 90s or back in the early 2000s or 2010s. And still, the shows used to be decent. Still, the entrances used to be decent. Now, with all of this added AR and stuff, I don't know. Just hard to take someone seriously as a badass when they come out with a sword. True, true. But what are your thoughts on Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship run, though? For me, just like I said, I have a soft spot in my heart for everybody I've interviewed, so I'll say that hey, his run as champion was okay, it was good. But honestly, I'll say this: not a fan of his championship run. I think it was very stale. I think that Drew McIntyre was quite protected. Uh, wasn't a fan of his championship run. I'll just say it. Are we done yet, KJ? Can you feel the energy in my voice right now? Can you see how excited I look? We are close to the ending of the show. We are in the main event. The show is about to get over, and I haven't been happier this week. I'm so happy, that the show is about done. That this is about over. This has been such a hard show. I had thoughts. I was like, I want to end this watch along right now because I cannot watch the show. I cannot sit through another 2 hours of the show. It's been so awful. But, here we are. You guys made it easy. The interaction made it easy. And we have reached the main event of the show. And the show is about over. And just as we get done with the watch along, KJ White is going to take over with his breakdown. He's going to be breaking down the show, and he's going to be giving you a review and a rating for the show. So for me right now, if I could rate the show, I would give it a 4.5 out of 10. And that's about it. A 4.5 out of 10. It's been an awful show. So I think him winning the title at Mania with no crowd may have affected it. He didn't get that massive Daniel Bryan style payoff at Minter. Sure, it's sad. Drew McIntyre definitely deserved a crowd for that moment, to celebrate that moment with him. I actually asked him during the interview, I asked McIntyre that what did you do after the show? Like, when you won the championship, did you go out to celebrate, considering we were at the peak of the pandemic back then? Things were closed down. So how did you celebrate your title win? What did you do? He said, I won the title. I went back home. And I did press interviews. That's what I did. So sad. That was a sad time for McIntyre. But yeah, I mean, it's part of life. We can't help it. It's amazing how 1994, this WWE is when it was losing money a lot. Is when selling to NBC and taking everyone with him when he goes. I don't know. I asked JTG, Crime Time's own JTG, about his thoughts about WWE possibly being sold. And he said that he would hate for that to happen. He does not want it to happen. And he actually had a very interesting reply. He said that he wants Shane McMahon to take over the company. And I said, wow, that's not something you hear every day, because usually when you talk about WWE, people say that they want Stephanie McMahon or Triple H to take over. Why do you want Shane McMahon to take over instead? And he said, that's true. Lots of people want Triple H to take over, but he wants the WWE to stay with the McMahons, not with anybody else, not with any other last name. He does not want it to go to Triple H. He does not want it to go to NBC. He wants the WWE to stay forever. He wants to stay a McMahon thing. And he also felt like Shane McMahon was a very charismatic, a very passionate and determined individual. When JTG was a part of the WWE, at least he felt like he was pretty mature and motivated to make WWE a success, and he was good backstage. So that's why JTG wants Shane McMahon to actually be the new CEO of the WWE when Vince McMahon steps down from the position. And fast, quick tags here between Big E and Drew McIntyre. They're really tagging each other in every now and then and really laying the kicks on the Uso, who's down in the corner. And wow, this is getting a little bit annoying now, considering how many times they have tagged each other in now. And good teamwork here. Good teamwork. Unlike the women, these two are actually getting along, and that's what I appreciate about this match. Disney are buying everything. They might buy WWE and add it to Disney Plus app. I came across a video the other day. I believe it was the Infographics channel on YouTube, which said that Disney is basically the new China. Like, it's everywhere. It's taking over everything. I do agree. Like, Disney is like a new monster. I mean, it can swallow. It can eat up basically everything that is huge and that is in its way. I don't know. Don't know. I could see that. Eric sees that as well. Disney owning the WWE would be I don't know. Would it be good for the WWE? Just trying to imagine that. I could see it being bad for AEW for sure, because if Disney takes over the company, they're gonna put in money. They're gonna put in an absurd amount of money. I could see some crossover. Can you imagine any of the MCU characters showing up on the WWE programming? People would go crazy. Can you imagine any WWE MCU crossovers? People would go crazy. And it would expose the WWE to a very wide audience, WWE has been a family friendly show. It's been a PG show for the longest time. And if Disney buys the company, WWE could cater to a whole new, audience, young audience, and I feel like it could actually get them a lot of more viewers, a lot more fans. I think it would be good for the company. Actually, Disney buying WWE right now does not seem like a bad idea at all. It could be good for the company. How was Raw? Raw was hot trash. Get DUI. It was hot trash. It was bad. 4.5 out of 10 is a rating I'd give Raw right now. The main event that we're seeing right now is possibly the best match of the show, as we had expected it to be, but it's definitely not main event caliber, I'll tell you that. Space Jam meets wrestling, I know, right? Yeah, Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny and all these people in the WWE could see that happening. We've seen Scooby Doo in WWE, so why not Bugs Bunny and Lola the Bunny in WWE? Could see it happening for sure. Captain America versus Spider Man on Raw. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Spider Man teaming up with Ricochet to take on Brock Lesnar and Thanos. Could see it happening for sure, with lots of CGI and whatnot. Could see it happening. Disney would clean up. Yep, yep, definitely would clean up. Wow, but Dan, if Disney buys this company, it would be a whole nother level of PG. It would be a whole nother level, like no blood, no profanity whatsoever, no missionary. It would be a whole new level of PG like we've never seen before in wrestling. But I feel like WWE is already quite close to it, so wouldn't really hurt a lot. But it would bring in a lot of viewers, a lot of viewers, a lot of people who don't even know that wrestling is so cool. It would expose wrestling to those people, and they would turn into fans, especially if WWE ends up on Disney Plus. You know, I feel like the fans of superheroes, fans of MCU and whatnot, they could very well be invested in the WWE because if you look at WWE, it's live action, it's superheroes in real life. Especially for the kids out there, they would really find the appeal in this product. So it could work. It could work. It could turn a lot of superhero and Disney fans into WWE fans. I just hope Disney does not change, pyros into confetti. I hope that does not happen. Oh, really? Okay, so Disney bought Fox Network and added it to the Disney app in the UK, which just shows. Oh, right. I was not aware of that. That they had 18 plus shows on there. All right, that's good. That's interesting. So let's talk about AEW for a second, guys. Tony Khan has made a claim on social media on Twitter. He has basically issued a challenge to the WWE. He's offended by the fact that WWE is running its supersized SmackDown on Friday, which is going to be an hour long than usual. It's going to be a 2.5-hour show, and it's going to collide with Rampage. The first 30 minutes of it is going to go head to head with Rampage. Tony Khan is offended because Rampage is just an hour long show. And this week in particular, it's going to be a live show instead of its usual taped format. It's going to be a live show. Tony Khan is offended, and he has basically issued a challenge to Vince McMahon. He has said that, hey, I see what you're doing, but guess what? This week, Rampage is going to defeat your premiere show. It's going to defeat Raw in ratings. Do you see it happening? I don't. I don't see it happening. I don't think because Rampage is struggling to get 600,000, even though they have CM Punk and whatnot. They still get about 600,000 viewers, right? So for them to actually defeat SmackDown and get more than 2 million viewers this week is just as likely as me flying to the moon tomorrow morning for breakfast. It's not going to happen. So yeah. They're already cartoony, so why not? I know, right? We already got the Raw bot and, all these cartoony figures. We've got the butterfly superhero, almost a superhero, Nikki ASF. We've got the Goth Queen, the cartoon Goth Nikki, is not Nikki, Rhea Ripley. She's almost a cartoon at now. We've got all these characters, so yeah, you're right. They're already quite cartoony. Thor versus Braun Breaker. KJ is big on Braun Breaker. I know that. Yep. Could be a good show. As Vince Music says, there's no chance in hell. Rampage is the year right. No chance. No chance at all. Name 5 best women's talent right now on the main roster. Okay. Um, I'm gonna name. Do you want me to just name WWE or AEW as well? You know what? I'm actually gonna be a little stubborn about it, and I'm gonna name people from outside of the WWE too. Not just who are active, but who are in the industry at the moment because of what they've done so far and what they're doing right now. Top of my list would be Charlotte Flair because she is the queen. She has she's the queen for a reason, and she's the champion for a reason. Because there has been nobody who has been able to replace her is the reason why she's at the top. women's wrestling roster is very limited when you compare it to the men's roster. I mean, for men, you have these tremendous athletes, and they're easily replaceable. Let's just say that. But for women, it's not as easy. The competition is really tight. It's hard, and it's hard for them to find the next queen, and they haven't been able to find one. And that's why Charlotte Flair, with the work that she's done, she is still the queen, and she deserves to be. So that's why I love Charlotte Flair. Got a lot of respect for her. That's why I say that Charlotte is number one in my books. Number two, who could it be? Number two, I would say Bunny from AEW. I find her pretty entertaining. Maybe a lot of people are gonna be surprised, but Bunny, I find her entertaining. I see something big for her in the future. So Bunny is number two for me. Number three for me would be, again, from AEW, is Britt Baker. Very entertaining, amazing in the ring. Number four for me would be Maria Kanellis. She is a woman. I've interviewed her. I did a shoot interview with her, long interview, about 40 minutes long. If you haven't checked it already, go to our YouTube channel, check it out. It's my interview with Maria Kanellis, shoot interview, where she really holds nothing back. She goes all out, and she talks about WWE. She talks about, the stuff that they've done to her, how they almost ruined her career, how they are very petty to work with. She had some good things to say about them. She had some bad things. She spoke about Donald Trump. Spoke about her struggles, her fight to the top, and she spoke about how she is now, fighting for the women who are trying to make it big in the industry right now. She's trying to elevate women's professional wrestling. So Maria is doing a tremendous job. So yeah, Maria Kanellis is it. And number five, just like Get DUI just said, Deanna. Number five is her for me. And you might find it very intriguing, but I did not add Becky Lynch to my top five because she is not in my top five. She's cringe. She's cringe right now. So yeah, Deanna is definitely not in my top five. Sorry, Becky Lynch is not in my top five. It's Deanna who's the fifth one. Rampage needs to step it up. Last few shows were lackluster when they could have started Blueprint. It's true. Rampage has been lackluster lately. I mean, its debut was incredibly impressive with CM Punk, and I thought that, wow, these people are really putting it all out for their 1 hour show. They're really treating it like their main show, and that's so fresh, that's so new. But really, these past few weeks, they have proved to us that now we're gonna still treat it as 205 Live. We're still gonna treat it as a tape show. We're not gonna give it the main show treatment. But let's see. Eric says, agree with Charlotte. It doesn't help. She's in the crap programs. True. Absolutely. During the interview that I did with Charlotte, another journalist asked her that, fans criticize her for being champion again and again and again. And to which she was actually quite moved. She had a very emotional, tone in her voice when this question was asked to her. And she was moved by the question because she hates the criticism that she receives from the fans for being on the top spot. She said that, I can't help it. I am on the top spot because I cannot find competition. I'm here to let other women shine, but for them to shine, they have to work hard and they have to really prove themselves and really win the fans over and win the executives over and really prove that, hey, they're better than me. But I haven't found that person yet. That's why I'm there as champion, because I want to elevate the other wrestlers out there. So I love and I respect Charlotte, and I could see the true sense of passion in her voice during that interview. Yeah, Becky Lynch is cringe. I'll just say it. She was hardcore. She was the man. A few years ago, she was doing a good job until WrestleMania 35. Really was red hot. Even after WrestleMania 35, right now, she's like Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is the drip king. She's trying to be like the drip queen, but she's kind of confused. She is trying to be like the drip queen, but she does not acknowledge that fact that she wants to be like that. So I find her to be cringy. She's confused. Why is Big E taking the beating and making the hot tag to Drew makes a champion? I know. Right now, Big E just read your comment and he tagged himself in. Got kicked to the temple by Uso twice to the head. Big E's down and out. Drew McIntyre is upset because he very much had the match in control, and now they are actually losing the match because of Big E's fault. Uso realizes what's happening. He knows that he's in control. Flying from the top turnbuckle as expected, Big E rolled up. He's going for the big ending, it seems. And time wasted over there. Is Uso gonna win the match? No, not at all. Big E's gotta win this one. He cannot lose this match. I always said, I don't blame Charlotte, blame the company. I couldn't have said it better. You're absolutely right. Becky's promos are sloppy. I love it. I love it. Yep, they are. They are. You know, we're not afraid of putting the truth out there. We're not afraid of stating the facts. And the fact of the matter is right now, this match is ending up just the way that the tag team match between the women did. And these people are going at it right now. I would love to see if this match also ends in a disqualification, because you've got two partners who are going after each other, who are hurting each other. Guys, just remember, the tag team match between the women, it ended in a disqualification because the partners were fighting each other. These guys are also fighting against each other, and this match is not ending in a disqualification for some reason. This goes on to show that WWE, it really goes against their own rules or makes up their own rules according to their convenience. That match ended in a DQ for no reason whatsoever, just because two partners were fighting each other. He had two partners were fighting each other. The referee did not disqualify them. The match went on until the countdown bell rang. So really goes on to show that WWE does not care about their own rules, and why should we, right? Why should we? I mean, this is a company that does not care about their own rules, so why should we bother? Just forget about it. These lot are worse than Sasha and Bianca. True, true. They are.
Roman Reigns must be extremely proud right now. The head of the table has got to be grinning ear to ear. Is this one gonna happen by completing this show? Yes. Destroying literally everything in sight. Wait a minute.
And guys, if you're watching this right now, don't go anywhere, because once Raw goes off the air and I go off the air, your favorite, my favorite, KJ White is going to be taking over with this breakdown show. He's going to be breaking down this awful show that has been Monday Night Raw. And he's going to be talking about it. He's going to be reviewing the show for you. And let's see what he has to say. For me, the rating that I would give to Raw, based on what we've seen tonight, is a 4.2. It's my final rating for the show. I gave it a 4.5 earlier, but because of this match, I'll drop it down to 4.2. Claymore is a cool finisher. That's true. It's true. All right, and the show is over. I'm glad it is. Guys, it was fun. It was a pleasure hosting the Watchalong and watching the show with all of you. Without wasting any more time, I'm going to go out of the air. I'm going to get out of here. And KJ White is going to come right back here on Wrestling News YouTube. And he's going to be talking about the show and breaking it down for you. So don't go anywhere as KJ White returns with his breakdown for tonight's Raw. Stay tuned.